and it's official. So my previous video, when I said you guys should be okay with trading Jimmy Butler, I'm sure some Heat fans were just kind of like, nah, I don't want to trade Jimmy Butler, which, you know, y'all fail to understand that 35 is not young in NBA years. So again, in my previous video, I already said that Jimmy Butler does not mesh with this team. Now he's upset about his usage and he wants to be traded. So I feel like Jimmy Butler has had issues with Pat Riley. He's had issues with Eric Spoelstra. He might respect Eric Spoelstra, but like the rest of us, he probably is sometimes annoyed with Eric Spoelstra, but maybe even on a higher level. I mean, now he's complaining about his usage. My problem with Jimmy Butler is he can't stay healthy. So if you're going to complain about usage and then your usage gets turned up and you get hurt, then you're no good to us. So I've always been open to trading Jimmy Butler. Honestly, any player on this team is tradable to me. Even my favorite players, Bam and Tyler. And Jimmy, to an extent, I'd say Jimmy's one of my favorite players, but I have no issue with trading Jimmy Butler. Some of you Heat fans are like, kind of like, oh, I don't want to trade this player. Look, man, front office trade a player. I don't care if I hate or like that player. It is what it is. It's out of my control. And, you know, you just hope that it ends up being a good thing for the team. Jimmy Butler getting traded. A lot of people are going to say the team's going to be a bad team because if you have a Jimmy Butler that wants to play for you and plays well, then the team can actually get into the playoffs. But then if you don't have Jimmy Butler, you don't really know how far Tyler Hero can take you regardless of how he's playing this year. He obviously had a bad game versus the Pacers, which his bad game is a good game for some players. But for him, you need him to consistently score over his 24 points per average. Hence, I will not be making any cooking with Tyler videos if he A, doesn't win the game, or, you know, the team doesn't win, and B, doesn't score over his average of 24. So there's no point in celebrating him. So you get rid of Jimmy Butler. Maybe you get a De'Aaron Fox in the best case scenario. Probably not going to get him. I think the biggest thing with getting a player is you got to make sure he's younger than Jimmy Butler, because Miami doesn't like to play older players. And you saw it with Dwayne Wade. You know, that's our GOAT. And they didn't pay him. And it was mainly a Pat Riley thing. But ultimately, though, I think it's beyond Pat Riley. I think it's also the whole organization. So whoever is next in line to take over with Pat Riley, don't think that he's going to be any different than Pat Riley. Like, I'm pretty sure, considering Pat Riley's age, no disrespect to our, you know, our guy, Pat Riley, the Godfather. He's getting up there in age. It's definitely going to be, maybe he gets the final say, but I'm sure he looks at the person who he has in his next of line, and they're probably thinking the same way. Jimmy Butler is 35 in basketball years is not young, and he has a tendency to get ankle rolls and all these little weird injuries. So it's just weird that he's complaining about utilization. But if you guys want to get a real gauge of what people think about Jimmy Butler, don't listen to Heat fans. No disrespect to the other content creators on here. I'm sure they're going to be honest with you guys and say that, hey, you know, it might be time to move on from Jimmy Butler, especially since he asked for the trade. But you know, if you got somebody on here or just in any Heat group crying about not trading Jimmy Butler after he asks for a trade, you need to not listen to that person. But if you ever want to get a gauge of like what people think about Jimmy Butler, step outside the box and go into spaces on maybe Reddit, X. I mean, I got a sports site that I go to for years, maybe over 20 years, or not 20, maybe close to 20 years. But I've been on this website since I was a teenager. They got a sports section, and as I'm going through, everybody is calling Jimmy Butler a bitch. Most of them are not Heat fans. They're just NBA fans. And if you're an NBA fan and not just a Heat fan, you know the MO that Jimmy Butler has. Jimmy Butler's MO is when he gets upset with the franchise, he starts to act like a diva. That's how people are they're calling him a diva right now. They're saying that this guy can't just shut up and play. He's on a team and he's unhappy. And, you know, basically they're not saying that he's a cancer, but they're saying that he's a cancer. Nobody's on Jimmy Butler's side. They're actually laughing at us Heat fans because they're saying that us Heat fans were telling them that this is different. Jimmy Butler's going to retire with the Heat. He's not going to do that to us. And he did it to us. The same shit he did in Minnesota and the Sixers. Anytime he was ready to leave, he starts doing shit like this. And so my thing with Jimmy Butler is I really do appreciate those 2 finals trips, but we didn't win. You're also getting up there in age. So if the team is not behind you and doesn't want to pay the extension, I'm with the team on this. You're 35. So no disrespect to Jimmy. I really appreciate your time here, but it's nothing personal. It's business. But I don't know, guys. Y'all tell me. Do y'all want Jimmy? No, it doesn't matter if you want. Where do you think Jimmy Butler is going to go if he gets traded? Because, you know, for a long time we've been hearing Golden State, Denver, and people are hoping for the Kings because they want Fox. But where do you think Jimmy Butler is going to go? Because his time here, it's up. It's over. There's no reason to not root for a Jimmy Butler trade within the next few days. I mean, I hope he gets traded tomorrow. I don't even want this man coming on the court no more. Stay home, bro. Like, go ahead and just put in personal reasons for Jimmy Butler. Eric Spoelstra, don't play this guy. Pat Riley, call him tonight or tomorrow. Well, shit. What, today's Friday? Call him today. Tell him, look, man, just stay home and trade this man. Get him off my team.